Hey everyone, welcome back to Already Overbooked, and today we are diving into the weird and wonderful world of Something from the Nightside by Simon R. Green. And if you're looking for a book that is based in a dark urban fantasy with a touch of noir mystery, and it has some seriously strange characters, then this book might be just what you're looking for. In this review, like always, we're going to go over, talk about the plot, the characters, the writing style, the theme, and of course, pros and cons. So let's dive in. All right, so let's start with the plot. So, what is Something from the Night Side about? You are introduced at the very beginning of the story to our main character, John Taylor. John Taylor is a private investigator with a very special gift. John can go through and find anything, not just lost items or missing people, but anything. And while John is good at what he does, he is also hiding from his past. So the story's going to go through and kick off when a woman named Joanna hires John to find her missing daughter, which leads John back to the night side. And the night side is a hidden part of London where it's always 3 a.m. and anything you can imagine, no matter how bizarre or horrifying, is real in the night side. So the night side really is a place where the strange and supernatural are just normal, where magic and technology coexist, and where danger lurks around every corner. So as John searches for Joanna's daughter, he encounters creatures, deadly assassins, and a lot of secrets from his past that he's been trying to completely forget. The plot is fast paced, it's filled with action and mystery, and it keeps you guessing about what exactly the night side is hiding. It is a dark, gritty detective story with a twist of the supernatural. And as you follow John deeper into the night side, you start to realize that nothing is as it seems. So, starting with the characters, like I mentioned, we have John Taylor. He's your classic noir style detective. He's tough, he's cynical, and he has a past that he wants to forget. So, he's not your typical hero. He's a man who's done questionable things in his past, and you can tell throughout the story he's haunted by what he's done and the secrets that he's keeping to himself and us as the audience. But he's also resourceful. He's been in this world before. You can definitely tell that this is not a new area for him, that he's been there and understands his abilities to go through and navigate this world. And then with his abilities to find anything, no matter where they are, is what really is going to set him apart from other characters you're going to go through and find within the story. John is full of contradictions. On one hand, he's incredibly capable and confident when it comes to dealing with the dangers of the night side. But yet, on the other hand, he's very vulnerable because of everything he's trying to hide and run away from of what he's done. So the mixture of these two areas is very fascinating, or it was for me as I was going through and reading the story. The night side also has a lot of bizarre characters you're going to go through and run into in this world. They're bizarre, they're dangerous. There's all kind of very interesting creatures. You never know what John is going to go through an encounter within this story. Some are ruthless, some are deadly, but they all have a different flavor that gets added into the story. But the characters are quirky, they're strange, and they're often pretty terrifying. Perfect for the world um, that Simon Green built. And the interactions with John and these over or larger than life characters are some of the highlights of the book. Each encounter reveals a different part of John's past, and we get a deeper look into the twist and unpredictable world of the Nightside. It was sharp, it was fast paced and filled with dark and cynical humor. The writing feels almost like a blend of classic noir detective stories and an urban fantasy with snappy dialogue with vivid description of the night side that really brings this world to life. It's told in first person, which makes it feel very personal and immediate. The pacing is fast with short chapters and it keeps the action moving. And there's a real sense of momentum as John uncovers more and more about the night side secrets. It's the kind of book that's easy to get through, and while it's straightforward, it does have a eerie tone to it within the story. It's not a happy world. It definitely has a lot of darkness and evil within this world that you're going to go through and encounter. So speaking of that, like I said, it is a noir detective story. So there's a mystery aspect. But on another level, the story focuses on identity, power, and the darker side of human nature. The night side itself is a place where people go to escape, to live out their wildest dreams or their darkest fantasies. It's a reflection of the character's inner desires and fears, and that gives the book a really dark, almost surreal quality. There is a line between good and evil is very blurred in this world, and John often has to make questionable choices to go through and survive. So even though the tone is definitely dark and gritty, there's, like I mentioned, there are some humor. John, like, he is dry, he has a sarcastic wit to him, and the humor, it helps balance out the more intense moments and gives a book a unique flavor. It's not overly bleak, but there's always this sense of danger lurking beneath the surface. It's one of those situations where you never know what's going to pop around the corner next. Some pros and cons that I've noticed in the story. It is a unique world. I do enjoy the night side. I thought it was very cool, and there was a lot of opportunity within this world and this setting, and potential creatures and excitement we can go through. I mentioned it was fast paced and addictive. It was fun to go through. Some of the humor was okay with it personally. I did enjoy some of it. There was some other sarcastic things that really just didn't hit for me. But some of the issues I had was the the limited character depth for the side characters. So you meet some side characters within the story, and honestly, what I felt when I was reading it, there was some characters who kind of blended together. They didn't feel like they were explored very well. So it was very surface level side characters, which I'm not a fan of. I like the world to be fleshed out, have a protagonist I understand, an antagonist I understand. And then if you're adding side characters, actually give me a reason to like or dislike the side characters. Don't just throw in a side character to bounce conversation off with the main character. And that's kind of what I felt in this story. The plot was very simple. It wasn't too complex. There wasn't that much twisty plot within the layers. There were enough to keep you engaged with the story, but I was expecting a little bit more when I was going through and reading the story. And then the ending, without spoiling anything, felt a little bit predictable. Satisfying for the story itself. So, would I recommend something from the Night Side? Sure. If you're a fan of urban fantasy or noir kind of detective stories, you might really enjoy this book. I think it's fast paced. Like I said, the atmosphere was very cool. The different creatures that came up were interesting enough, even though they didn't have depth. While it's not the most complex mystery kind of book, it was a fun palate cleanser. So we'll say that. Thought it was fun for what it was. If my expectations were a little bit more realistic going into it, I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more than what I actually did. So I went through and rated this a 6 out of 10. So I thought it was enjoyable. It wasn't anything. I thought it was a little bit above middle of the road. So I was, that's good enough. Would I go through and continue the series? Probably not. But if you're really into these types of stories, you will definitely have a fun time with the right expectations. So, thanks so much for watching. If you read something from the Night Side, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you haven't, and this is something that you're interested in jumping into this world, let me know down in the comments as well. And as always, don't forget to do the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, you know what to do. So, thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.